What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter. And a lot of people always ask me about things that happen in the drill culture, crazy situations. Today is a topic that I'm always asked about that's not Chief Keef and Lil Durk influence, because it seems like those are the questions that I'm always asked. You got to understand, people know that I'm a real drill historian, and those are like the top artists inside of the drill culture, so they ask me about that a lot. But a person I'm always asked about is actually a situation, not so much that person, is about a quadruple murder that ended up happening on 75th and Coles. The suspect who was charged with it is actually an affiliate of G Herbo by the name of No Limit Wet 'em Up. A lot of people call him Lil Wet and shit like that. He was actually charged with those murders. It was 4 people gunned down in front of a restaurant called the Nadias Fish that's located on 75th and Coles. I want to tell you guys something about this because it was a lot of craziness that happened that day. This was a couple of years ago. It was rumors that went around that No Limit Wet 'em Up did that in retaliation because his dad, Big Wet, was shot and killed. So he retaliated. That went all around the internet. It went viral. So many documentaries, bloggers talked about this story. He was charged. He fought his case. But something crazy ended up happening. He actually got the charges dropped and came home. A lot of people always ask me about that. I'm not going to lie. I feel like that's one of the craziest cases in the drill culture. 4 bodies gone. 4 kids taken out of a community. Actually, the mother of some of these people who lost their lives in there actually worked in that restaurant. As crazy as that sounds, that's very sad. We actually seen relatives of some of the people speak out in interviews and when they were on the news, when it was all on NBC News, because this story damn near hit national headlines. I'm not gonna lie, there's a few things though about that shit that kind of threw me off, kind of found my head in a space that was weird. Is it happened in the daytime, broad daylight. Normally when something like this happened in broad daylight, it's not a coincidence. They looking for somebody. Then when I looked into the paperwork and shit, I seen that they say the killer walked to the restaurant. So this wasn't a ride pass in the car. He walked to the restaurant. 2 people gunned down inside of the restaurant. 1 person found dead outside of the restaurant, and like around the corner in the backyard, another body was found. I guess somebody was able to get away and make it a far distance before he collapsed and lost his life. 4 killings. I'm not gonna lie, you know, it kind of sounded a little weird that one guy was able to just kill 4 people by himself. I'm not saying it can't happen because people be out here quick with the quick draw. I get it. I'm not saying it, but you know, that's one thing that kind of alarmed me, was that they're saying 1 person did this. Another thing that alarmed me is, you know, they instantly jumped on No Limit Wet 'em Up. You know, rumors in the hood, people know his dad died, his talk, his chatter. I believe Wet 'em Up lived somewhere in that neighborhood, you know, at that time. People know about him. They know he's cool with G Herbo, the whole No Limit camp, Lil Bibby, Juice WRLD. So, you know, he has a reputation of being a nigga not to play with. I understand that. But I just found that crazy that they had the suspect that fast. He was able to gun down 4 people by himself and all of this. Another thing is, you know, he didn't go to trial. It ain't like they convicted him or he was in trial and he beat the case. They actually just dropped the charges. I found that kind of suspicious too. A case that happens in the daytime, multiple people dying, a lot of attention on this case, to just release this guy and let him go. You know, it's a piece of me, you know, that believes what a lot of other people believe, is that, you know, the police railroaded this man. Not to say that he didn't have shit to do with it, not to say he wasn't a part of it, but to put all 4 of those bodies on that young man was not the truth. You know, rumors, his background, his reputation had put that case on him, what I heard from other people. Now, I heard from other people, too, that people afraid of that nigga, and he one of them niggas out there, and people don't want to talk, and everybody got a reputation of this. So he was able to beat that case. But it's a lot of people say, you know, that's understandable, but to be 4 dead bodies in the broad daylight, young people, mother works in the restaurant, national coverage, to not even take this shit to court, is just a little flabbergasted to me. I understand they might not have evidence, I get what people saying, but to not even attempt this shit is a little flabbergasting to me. Some people believe this guy was railroaded. He sat in jail for 3 years fighting a case that he clearly didn't commit. Might have been a part of it. Might have knew who did it. Might have been his homeboys, but he wasn't a trigger man, is what people say. But then again, who knows? Because these guys be out here like MacGyver, man. They be like James Bond. They surgical with the ratchet. So you never know, man. Motherfuckers will trick you out. Yeah, you never know. But that's a topic I wanted to tell you about because a lot of people ask me about that. But yeah, you know, a restaurant on 75th and Coles called Nadias Fish experienced one of the craziest days in the drill culture. 4 people lost their life. I was told some of those guys that was in that restaurant wasn't the people who was involved in a lot of that gang shit. Now, I'm not saying the young people weren't in the gangs, but I was just told that everybody who got killed clearly wasn't in the gang. Some motherfuckers lost their life who was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Sad situation. But subscribe to my YouTube channel. We not going to put no guilty on No Limit Wet 'em Up because they dropped the charges, you know. He's a free man. I guess he's innocent. And we're going to have it be like that. Because when them people try to lock you up and say you guilty, they say you guilty. So they drop the charges on this guy. We're going to look at this guy like he innocent. But we still going to look over our shoulder. It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter.